Hey everybody. So I'm not sure if you can see me. Um, I'm very new at streaming, but I wanted to come live and share an amazing story with you for the holiday season. So if you don't know who I am Dr. Hollywood. And hopefully nobody's working today, and hopefully everyone is awake by now. And I've been spending, I don't know, 2 hours trying to figure out how to get on live Facebook. So just so you guys know, I don't know what I'm doing technology wise, even though I have an associate's degree in computers engineering. So anyways, let's get to it. So I wanted to share this amazing story with everyone today about what happened to me. And so as you can see from the screen, hopefully if there's anyone watching, they can maybe put a chat in and just let me know if they can see the screen that I'm sharing. But it's about a vision that I had from God. And so, just some background information. I was an atheist. I just laugh when I say that. Like, I wasn't laughing then, but I laugh now. Like, I can't believe I didn't believe, but I didn't believe. And I was dreaming one day, and so I'll just tell you. So I was dreaming one day. So I made this slideshow for you guys so you could have a better idea of really what's going on when I'm telling you about this. And if you can just give me 1 second here so I can figure out what I'm doing, if you don't mind, um, so I can see what's going on. Okay. So, all right. So, okay. So I'm just going to get into it. All right. So, firstly, I wanted to discuss dreams. Okay. And I am not, um, you know, educated in dreams by any means. Do I hold a doctoral degree in this? But I did want to briefly just touch on dreams a little bit here and just kind of explain to you that, dreams are subjective, and depending on our beliefs, is usually how we will interpret the dream. And so, dreams are made up of our memories and day-to-day experiences. And, the purpose, I guess, of our dreams is that they can enhance our cognition. They help us with memory, and they also prepare us for threatening events. So, when we experience something negative, we may dream something and then it'll help us remember and be more prepared for next time. But, a lot of scientists say that when we dream, it's just really a whole bunch of electrical pulses, impulses and stuff going on in the brain. I don't want to get too biochemical, but basically a lot of neurons in there and astrocytes, and all kinds of stuff doing, biochemical reactions, depolarization, and things like that in the brain, just circuitry, basically electrical circuitry. But overall, the dreams can be a collection of emotions and thoughts and other memories and stuff like that, and even your desires throughout the day. So there is some stuff that we do know about dreams scientifically. We do know that most of the intense dreams happen during rapid eye movement, which is REM, if you guys are familiar with the acronym. But we do also know that it can occur during non-REM, and dreams can be both voluntary or involuntary, coherent or incoherent, logical or illogical. And so the basic science behind the dreams is, you know, they believe that their purpose is for psychological self-reflection. But I think differently because of this experience that I had with God. So let's see. So my dreams. So I like to tell people a little bit about the dreams before I tell them about what happened with God so they can understand um, really what happened with me, and that it's not made up, you know? And so, I've always had dreams, and I dream every night, and most of my dreams are memories and desires and things like that. And if anyone does dream, they know what they desire and what they don't desire. They know what's memory from not memory when they're waking up. But I do have some special characteristics that I don't know if you guys have. So I like to tell people about them. But basically, I usually have between 1 and 7 different types of dreams when I'm dreaming. And on a rare day, I can even have up to 12. Which is a lot. So, my mind is very active. And I have a really good memory of my dreams. Like I can still remember dreams from when I was like 7 or 8 years old. However, just like anyone else, sometimes I'll wake up and I won't remember anything. It's kind of like poof, the dream went away. And so, you know, there's this instantaneous forgetting, I guess, that goes on when we're dreaming. Um, but I am pretty lucid, so I'm very coherent. And a lot of times I'm aware that I'm dreaming and I don't want to get out of my dreams. And I think that may be more in the stage where I'm waking up, you know. But some notable characteristics are I have the ability to control my dreams sometimes. And if I have nightmares, I've even been able to train myself because, I've had a lot of trauma in my life. So I've been able to train myself to force myself to wake up. And if I can't wake up, I'll jump into like another dream land. Like I will create a safe place to go. I don't know if that makes any sense. But if I really have like something that's bothering me, I will even use my dreams to solve my problems, like solve puzzles, solve anything, right? And I will sit there and think about it over and over again until I solve it. But yes, sometimes my dreams are desires and sometimes they're past events, but also I dream about future events. And I've had these on rare occasions throughout my life. And so on the day that I met God, I was dreaming. And and so I'm going to get into the vision right now. So I hope you guys like my graphics. I don't know how many people are watching this. So, like I said, I'm very new to Facebook. So we will, and YouTube and everything like that. So we will try to do this smoothly. So anyways, I was in La La Land and all of a sudden my dream was erased. And I thought, well, what in the world? And I knew it was strange. So it got my attention. And that's when I realized, hey, like I was just dreaming and now I'm not. And I was literally in this white space. And the reason why I kind of drew this out for you guys is because I wanted you to have a very clear picture of what I saw. And I really don't have time to put a whole movie together for this incident, but I did some basic slides and I used my emoji. So, anyways, I'm standing in this white space and it's basically like a void. Um, it's space, and I say space because like all around me is just white everywhere, and I'm standing, but I don't see a floor that I'm standing on. And at first I can see myself from all around. So I had like a bird's eye view, but I could also see myself from inside of me. So I had a self view, I guess, if that's how you want to say it. And well, so I'm in this space, and all of a sudden I feel like this light shining on me, right? And I hear my name and I hear Jasmine. And I mean, immediately, I knew it was God. And it was the strangest thing because the reason why I knew it was God, even though I didn't believe in God, was because I felt this familiar feeling. And I had felt it before. And I was like, oh, what? Like when the light, I could feel it and see it surrounding me. And then I heard Jasmine, and I knew it was God. So I don't know how to explain it, except I knew immediately it was God. And it was the most profound moment I had ever had in my entire life. And the first thing that rolled off my tongue was, whoa, you're real? Of course, like an idiot. Not hallelujah, praise the Lord, or any of that. And so it just rolls off my tongue like, whoa, you're real. And so I'm flabbergasted, right? And I'm like, this is like the neatest thing. And all these thoughts are going through my mind. And that's when it kind of occurs to me, wait a minute, you're real? And I'm 38 years old and you're just now coming to me? Like, where you been all my life, bro? Like, you let me live for 38 years thinking there is no God. This whole time that I've lived, I thought there was no God. And there's many reasons why I thought this. And I thought this because, well, I went through a lot of pain and suffering. It was sinful, unlawful, things like that. And so when you go through what I've been through, it's hard to feel like there's one out there, because we have this misunderstanding about God, right? We think God is all loving. And when I was in this space and this white light, or this bright light, was shining on me, I did feel that feeling of all loving, right? But we make the mistake of thinking God is all loving. And so we think, well, why are we suffering? And we think he's supposed to give us anything we want. That's a huge misinterpretation. And so, of course, we begin to doubt, and we think that there is no higher power. And so, until eventually we truly believe what we believe. Well, if I can't see him and he's invisible and he doesn't show himself or talk to me, he doesn't exist. And that's basically where I was at. And so I realize he's real. I'm kind of combative with him, right? I'm like, hey, where you been all my life, bro? Why now? So in response to what I was saying, he was like, so I was like, whoa, you're real? Let me come back a little bit. So, whoa, you're real? Like, why are you just now coming to me after 38 years? And he goes, because you're ready. I'm like, ready? Like, ready for what? Like, I don't know, and and I'm excited at the same time. So I have all these emotions. And also, I want you guys to understand that there's this newfound awareness that is going on in my head. I have a lot of knowledge all of a sudden. It's like I kind of like know everything, and everything he says makes sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense when I'm telling it to you, but when I was in that void, it made perfect sense. And so when I asked him, what was I ready for? He was like, to complete your life's purpose. And so I go, complete my life's purpose? Like, what? Oh, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I have a purpose. What is it? And I'm thinking, am I going to be like this famous celebrity? So this is the mindset that I had, right? Which is, what am I going to be? How am I going to be special? I must going to be famous, right? Am going to be, something. And he was like, your purpose is to help others complete their life's purpose. And I'm like, what? And this is how self-centered we are as humans, because I thought I was a good person, but I look back now at this memory and I think the first thing I thought when God told me my purpose was to help others was, you want me to serve other people? Like, what? Like, huh? And so we're very self-centered, and it shows you how very self-centered I was, even though I thought I was not selfish at all. And so I was like, well, like, how am I going to do that? I mean, I was down with the program and everything, but I was kind of like, how am I going to do that? And so he said, by doing my work, and I was like, my work? And he was like, yeah, you have work to do. And as naive as I was, I was like, oh yeah, like work. I've heard that before. That's like what those Bible people say all the time. People that go to church, they say, we got work to do. We all have work here on earth. And I was just so naive, right? And so uneducated. Like I had no clue what this guy was talking about. I say this guy, but I had no idea what God was talking about, right? And so at the time, this like projector screen pops up. And so now it's me, the light, and this projector screen. And it looked exactly like what you see in the picture. And I could see not like my life, review or whatever those people claim. It wasn't like that, but it was of things he wanted me to do. And so he was basically giving me images so I could understand better what it was that he wanted. And so I was like, well, what kind of work do I have to do? And so he was like, you have 3 things that you have to do. And one of them was he gave me a new name. And so I just love these graphics. And so he was like, you need to change your last name to Hollywood. And just so you guys know, my husband's last name is Hollywood. And I was very combative with God. I was like, no, like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's kind of funny because, like I said, I didn't know anything about God or church or any of that. I've been to church once or twice in my whole life, but I never went to church ever, So I didn't know the respect level that I should have known, when you're facing God. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm keeping my last name, and I have my personal reasons at the time. And he was like, no, you need to change your last name. And so like, I'm giving you a new name. And even though I was combative with him, I want you guys to understand, like, all I felt was love the whole time I was like in there. And so I was like, very like, okay, like, yeah, I'm combative, but I wasn't so combative to where I was like, I'm not going to do what you say. I just like, he was so convincing because he was so loving, right? Like, you didn't really have a choice but to say yes because you wanted to continue to feel like that love. And so then I saw the doctor pop up on the screen. And so he was like, you need to become a doctor. And I was like, all right, I'm going to become a doctor. So now I'm all excited because I see the doctor on the screen and I see the stethoscope around his neck and I'm jumping up and down for joy. Like, okay. And then he hits me with it and he's like, but you're not going to be the doctor that you want to be. And I was like, I'm not? Well, what kind of doctor am I going to be? And he wouldn't tell me. He was just kind of like, like you'll see. I guess he didn't really say that, but like I got that sense, like you'll see, just you're going to become one, but like I'm not going to reveal that to you yet. And so, but he knew, that was my goal and that I knew that I was going to become a doctor. So then the third thing he told me to do was to use my voice. And I was like, use my voice, like, okay. Like it made sense because I saw like the red Yeti microphone go across the screen. But I was very concerned. And once again, I was combative with God. And I was like, well, no, like no one's going to listen to me. Like I'm nobody, And so I started getting very worried. I'm like, but, I've sinned, I've been unlawful. Like I've broken all 10 commandments. I didn't say that. I know that now. But in my mind, all of the things that I had done in my life throughout my whole life since I was a child, all of that was running through my mind about all the things that I had done wrong. And I knew sin was bad. So I remember using that word like I've sinned, but then it came into my mind like, but I've suffered, and I wanted to cry. Like I've suffered so greatly. I've had so much trauma in my life. Like I am nobody. Like nobody is going to listen to me. Like I don't want to use my voice. Like my whole life, I've been told to shut my mouth. I talk too much. I don't say it the right way. I don't sound professional enough. I've had thyroid disease, like anything that has to do with my voice, my vocal cords, any of that, communication, expression, like it's always been off, And before I believed in God, I believed in the chakras. And so I would always be searching for why I had thyroid disease through like chakras. And they would always say it was my communication. And so, but I was very expressful. Like I would just tell you how it is and I would not care how you felt. So, I mean, my voice has always just been off, and so I was very concerned when he told me that. And he was like, it's going to be, okay, basically. And, he said that use my voice and that I'm trying to think of how he said it. He was like, I said, but no one's going to listen to me. And he was like, yes, they will. It's because, and this is how he said, it's because of your suffering. It's because of your sins, because of your suffering that people will listen to you and they will know that you're being authentic. Like they'll know that you're speaking the truth. But yeah, he still didn't tell me what it was I was supposed to say. Right. So I'm like, okay. And so anyways, I don't know how many times I've told this story, but I have not told it live. So anyways, I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, how will I know what I'm supposed to say? But because I could feel that his light was leaving. And I want to remind you that I never saw the image of God, right? It was like I can only see light. And you can never see what's behind this light, but it's magnificent. And so anyways, I was like, well, how am I supposed to do that? Like, what am I supposed to say? Which way am I supposed to go? Like, how will I know what to do? And he was like, you'll know. He's like, when it's of me, when it's from me, the way I want you to go, it'll be easy for you to do or accomplish or achieve. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, nothing's easy to achieve. But what he was saying was, you'll like glide through it, right? Like, if it's what I want of you, you'll just do it and it'll be easy. But if it's not what I want of you, there'll be so many obstacles, you'll never be able to achieve it. So basically, he's saying, like, it's unachievable, and you will fight and you will fight and you will fight and you'll never achieve it. That's how you'll know it's not of me. And so basically, like, open doors and closed doors, right? And so so I have this little graphic just so you guys can kind of see like how I was picturing it and everything. So basically, when he decides it, he plans it, it's an open door. And when you decide it, when it's of your will, right, it's a closed door. And then the last thing that he said is, oh, there's one more thing I need to tell you. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, this is so important for you to know. And I go, okay, what? And he's like, there's no such thing as right or wrong. And I was like, what? And it made so much sense. And so I was like, oh, yeah. Because remember, I had all this newfound knowledge all of a sudden. And so he said, there's only good and evil. Okay. And so that's what he said. What I'm saying is like what I was thinking. Oh, there's no such thing as right or wrong. Like, you're either a sinner or you're not a sinner, right? You can sin and then you can become good. Well, we never stop sinning, I guess, right? So if you ever read the Bible, like, we'll always sin in some way, even if we don't mean to. But what he's saying is, you either have good intentions or evil intentions. That's how I was seeing it. And it made sense because I was like, oh, yeah, you can't walk up to someone and be like, oh, you cut me off or you cut me in line. Because in their mind, they may not have had an evil intention when they were doing it. They may have had a good intention. Well, she looks like she won't mind me sliding in, right? So in their mind, they may think what they're doing is righteous. And so I think that's what he was trying to say. And then that's it. That's the end of my my dream. And so I really wanted to share that. Well, it wasn't a dream, right? It was a vision. And excuse me. And I really wanted to share that with everybody today. So I hope this was a good story for you guys to listen to. And if there's any questions or anything like that, I would love to answer them. You guys can watch my, I guess, my YouTube channel. I have one. It's Dr. Hollywood, by the way, or at dr.jhollywood. If you look me up, I have two YouTube channels, but I don't have like a lot of people or anything like that. But I also have a TikTok channel as well under Dr. Hollywood, where I talk about my dreams and stuff like that. But like, what I really want to do is I really want to start telling people how important God is. And so God is real. He's real, you guys. And so the clock is ticking. If you guys don't know anything about God, time is short. You never know when he's going to be coming. And if you don't believe, I suggest you start really figuring out why you don't believe and trying to justify that, because in the end, if you have a choice to make, which you will have a choice. Either you're with me or against me. It's ride or die, right? So in the end, you're going to have to decide, you know, if tomorrow never came, right? And today was your last day and you had to decide, would you take that chance? Would you take that chance? So I think about this all the time, like how naive I was, thinking he didn't exist, you know, and it just blew my mind away. And so I spent 3.5 years ignoring my mission that he gave me, which was to help people. And this is part of that mission. This part of this mission is telling you guys, using my voice, that he is real, he exists. And what we're supposed to be doing is repenting, asking for forgiveness, asking if we're worthy to be in his kingdom, right? And telling other people about him. So there's a lot of, misconceiving. Well, I'm not religious and I'm not this and I'm not that. And I'm just here to tell you guys that it ain't about all that. It's about either you're a godly person and you truly in your heart want to do good things and you have great desires, desires to help people and desire to be good-hearted, desire to make others happy, desire to serve other people, right? Or you are all about yourself and your desire is you. So you can't be both. You can't be about others and be about yourself. You have to be about one or the other. So you can't go around feeding the homeless and then be like I fed the homeless. Look what I did. Look, that's all about you, And so trust me, I used to be that way. I understand we all have businesses to run and we all have families and things like that, but you're either about helping other people or you're not about helping other people, And so it has nothing to do with being submissive or anything like that. It has to do with where your heart lies. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm coming back to you with another video. So thank you for watching. And again, this is Dr. Hollywood. I'm a writer because I ain't gonna die. I chose to go the pathway of God.